Lights back!
Sorry.
I need to be more mysterious. Yes, no. A few things you need to know about me before we begin. First, just to give you a very quick idea of the kind of person you're dealing with here, I recently put both of my hands in the bin in a public bathroom because I thought it was a Dyson Airblade. Second, you might look at me and think that I look like a kind of anime librarian or a troublingly erotic CBeebies presenter. And it's more complicated than that, but you're close enough. Actually, what I do, in fact, is this. I do stand-up comedy, and I'm very aware, okay, I'm painfully aware that that's not a real thing that people do. that doesn't count, does it? To the extent that whenever I tell someone that I'm a stand-up comedian, I feel like I must be lying. Like, the way I see it, in my imagination, what's happened is they ask me what it is I do, and they've already made some assumptions, you know, based on the way I look. So, librarian, obviously, substitute teacher. Perhaps this woman looks like she has quite a good typing speed. And or a very small niche OnlyFans. Jokes on them, I'm terrible at admin. And then I have the audacity to claim that what I do is getting up on stage and telling my little jokes. And I say it with the same apparently unearned confidence that I might say that I'm a lion tamer, or a famous astronaut, or the other sister out of the cause who they don't talk about because somehow she was born English. I don't believe me. Worse still, sometimes I will tell a man that I'm a stand-up comedian. Yeah, don't do that. I'll tell a man that I'm a stand-up comedian, and not in so many words, but basically he will answer, a comedian? But you're a woman! I know, I mean, 1, sexist, 2, gender essentialist, 3, he says it like I might not have noticed. Like I'm going to look down and go, whoa, bloody hell, you're right, actually. Thought I just had my backpack on back to front. Sorry about that, I'll stop doing comedy immediately, I'll start doing something feminine. I'll go and make you a sandwich in my underwear. I mean, I'll go in my underwear to make you a sandwich, I don't think I'll make you a sandwich. But, yeah, that is what I do. I'm also, by day, a children's entertainer. Ooh, yes, what a glamorous job. So professionally, I run the full gamut of human experience. You know, on the one hand, I've had audiences full of screamers, criers, people wetting themselves, people breastfeed, perhaps. And on the other hand, as I said, I'm a children's entertainer. Don't laugh at that, that's a cheap joke, isn't it? It's a cheap joke, but it felt unavoidable. So yeah, that's what I do. And there are several differences between stand-up comedy and entertaining children. Most obvious for me, though, is the heckling. When an adult heckles you, all right, it's annoying, it's boring, it can be hurtful. When a child heckles you, they will rip you apart. They are brutal. When I'm doing my children's entertaining, I've got the character of a wizard. So I will tell some little interactive stories and do some simple magic tricks. And you have not known imposter syndrome until you've been faced with a room full of 7-year-olds screaming at you, "You're nothing but a fake! You're not real!" And it's not even you're not a real wizard, it's just you're not real! So I'm standing there with a scoop full of bicarbonate of soda in one hand and a potion bottle full of vinegar in the other, having a full-on existential crisis, and thinking, I wish that this was a comedy club and that these were adults so that I could single out the ringleader and tell him to fuck off. I have to sing him happy birthday. Now, you might ask me, Chrissy, If this is the case, why do you put yourself through this? If the heckling gets this bad, why do you continue to be a children's entertainer? And the reasons for that are threefold, because that's how comedy works. Reason number one, look at me. Do I look like the kind of person who has historically made good life choices? No. I picked out this outfit, my socks very much don't match. They look like they match, but they don't. I'm riddled with ADHD, I've never made a good decision in my life. Second reason, it's a job that I can do, and I need a job in order to fund my hobby, which is not starving to death. And the third reason is that actually, I love it. I love being a children's entertainer. I love working with children, because I think the reason that they're so good at heckling is that they're completely unfiltered, and I love and I identify with weird, unfiltered people. To give you an example of this, once when I was doing one of these birthday parties, doing my wizarding, a little girl launched herself at me, full on, elbows out, head down, proper rugby tackle style. But I thought, she's 4 years old and skinny, I could take this bitch in a fight. So I stood my ground. And in the end, she didn't barrel into me like I thought she was going to. She stopped just short of me, held out her little closed fist, slowly opened it to reveal a half-eaten cocktail sausage, whispered, "Sausage," and ran away. She won't remember that, but that's the best interaction I've ever had with anybody. I've been being a bit brave lately. Been trying some new things, some new material on stage and in life. On stage I've been trying to be funny. Thought I'd give that a go for a change. Because most people describe my comedy as troubling, confusing. And in life I've been working towards becoming a viable human being, and it's been a bit of an uphill struggle. Not gonna lie, it has been an uphill struggle. Most struggles are uphill, really, aren't they? Hardly ever hear of struggles in other directions. Sisyphus chasing a boulder down a hill. Shit, catch it! It's not been easy. There are several things getting in the way of me being a viable human being. For a start, I have ADHD, and I worked out quite recently, quite late in life, that I have ADHD, so I talk about it a lot, far more than I should have. I think I'm starting to get a bit boring about it, a bit evangelical. Don't know what I'm hoping to achieve. Don't know what the neurodivergent agenda is. You'd have to ask the autistic people about that. I have ADHD, I can't keep to an agenda. I have ADHD, I have poor impulse control, poor short-term memory, I'm clinically depressed, I have poor short-term memory, and I'm an introvert. And so I can find sometimes that this gets in the way of me connecting with an audience in the way that I'd like to. Like, for instance, I'm not very good at small talk. Don't really know how small talk works. Like, I've been working on it though, I have been working on it. So, like, hi.
Evening.
Hello.
Hello.
Do you like weather? It's something to do with weather, isn't it? It's definitely something to do with weather. I think it is. Not quite there yet. The other thing that comedians sometimes do is they'll roast an audience, won't they? They'll be a bit mean. I'm not very good at being mean either, but again, I have been working on it. You look like your self-esteem's pretty good. You're a white man. Do you mind if I roast you a little bit? Is that all right?
Carry on, I'm a minority anyway, I'm not protected.
Wrong room for that, mate. Okay, I'm going to roast you.
I know I shouldn't have gone again.
The sports team that you support isn't very good. The other sports team scores more goals or tries or wickets or whatever the points are called in dressage. I don't know what sports I'm working on it. The trouble is, when I'm my natural self, that's a lot more kind of intense than a situation like this really calls for. Like, once again, I'll have a go. Hi.
Hi.
You alright?
Yeah, I'm alright.
Not comforted by the knowledge that we all eventually turn to dust?
Not staying.
No? How do you feel about the crippling existential dread of being a vivid panoramic soul trapped inside a decaying meat prison, barrelling towards death? It's probably fine, isn't it? Death might not come to you. Right. Don't know why I'm still single. When I begin interactions with phrases like decaying meat prison. I was asked out by a guy once. I was chatted up by a guy. Didn't go very well, mostly because he attempted to chat me up by using the unusual strategy of insisting, increasingly angrily, that I was, in his words, some kind of Asian. I'm not. I'm actually half Eastern European, which means that I'm very expressive and I take up space. And I'm half British, which means I'm really sorry about it. It means that more than 20 years after the fact, I still haven't completely forgiven myself for the time when I accidentally touched a guy's crotch in Covent Garden while doing what can only be described as too much gesture. I was only 16, it was the first one I ever touched. Not the last. Maybe the last. No, actually, just because I don't have a long-term partner doesn't mean that I'm necessarily a lonely person. There are actually two men in my life. Yeah, the first one has got a bit of an unusual job, actually. He's one of those oversized plush sharks from IKEA. And the other one, of course, is my cat, Bernard. And I thought I was being a bit funny, a bit original, a bit cute, giving him a just some guy kind of name. It turns out there's a bit of fashion these days for giving cats names that sound like they're just a bloke you met down the pub. Like, sometimes we'll go around a friend's house and you'll see, for instance, the most beautiful, plush, clear, blue-eyed ragdoll cat. It's gorgeous, it's luscious, it's all beautiful fur, deep purrs. It looks like the kind of thing that someone might wear, if they were awful. And you find yourself kind of producing open tins of salmon that you didn't even have on your person. Your body's just producing them like a biological imperative brought on by how gorgeous this cat is. And it's got a little bit of evil in its eye, but you know that you'd die for it. You'd kill for it. And you say, my God, that's a stunning cat. And your friend says, yeah, that's Ian. Dickhead. Dogs, on the other hand, dogs are treated like gods in this country. And fair play, from a spelling perspective, not a big leap. Also fair play, because dogs are lovely, aren't they? Even as a cat person, I can understand why dogs are so loved in this country. But sometimes you'll go around a friend's house and you'll see their dog. Or at least you've been reliably informed that it's a dog. If you didn't know better, you might think it was a very old, dirty, threadbare hand puppet that's been turned inside out. Or an octopus that's been dropped on a sticky rug. It looks like it's been long dead, it's been buried, it's been dug up again. It smells like that too, but unaccountably it's still moving. It's either got no eyes or too many eyes, depending on which direction you look at it. You can't tell which part of it is which. You think you see its tongue lolling about, but then it puts weight on it. That's its leg. It looks like if it threw up, and that's a small if it threw up, you might accidentally leave the vomit, scrape up the dog. That's what it looks like. But you, because you're British and you're polite, of course you say, oh, what a lovely dog. And your friend says, I know. This is Angel. He's a Shih Tzu pug Doberman cross. He's the most beautiful thing in my life. And at that point you can kind of see where they're coming from. Because you've seen pictures of their baby.